Great to have you with us, Devin. Yeah, you
Great
can
to be here.
Yeah, you can share your screen if you like.
Okay, done.
Let me see
Let
if
me
that is.
know. Let me know when we're visible.
Yes, we're visible. I can see your. It's a PDF, I think. Your presentation.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Maybe if you, I don't know if you can put it on big screen. How does that work? Well, this would also full screen. Yeah, there you go. Okay, though. Yeah, that's great. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Apologies for the for being late and then the delay afterwards. We had a slight mix-up with time zones, but all good. We're here now. So if you have any questions, please hold them to the end. And let's start with why clean air. So did you know that 4.1% of all global deaths are attributed to poor indoor air quality? Now, 2 years ago, before the pandemic, clean air was a dull topic. Now it's top of mind for many. Uh, Quick show of hands, how many of us wake up in the morning, take a deep breath of air, and say, hey, that was a great breath of air? My guess is not many, right? So let's be honest, clean air is one of the most widely used natural resources that is taken for granted, right? It's probably the most life critical, widely used, and undervalued natural resource on the planet. And it took a global pandemic for everyone to start realizing how mission critical and valuable clean air really is. Now, before we get into the presentation, I wanted to just make a differentiation between outdoor air and indoor air, right? So we're primarily going to talk about indoor air, but very quickly, let me just touch on outdoor air first. Regardless of which section we're talking about, one thing is for certain, regardless of whether we're looking at outdoor air or indoor air, clean air is becoming harder to find in both categories. Okay, so outdoor air. We define outdoor air quite literally as air that's outdoors. To some of us that live around nature, that might mean refreshing, energizing, clean air. To some of us that live in the great cities, that might mean smog, that might mean pollution. During the pandemic, we were encouraged to get as much outdoor air as possible, right? So being outdoors was considered much safer. This is because if we had COVID or the virus, we would be breathing out, and we're expelling these droplets into the air. But outdoors is so vast, right? So the concentration of that virus gets diluted, and even if someone else breathes this contaminated droplet, and we breathe it in, the concentration is likely to be so low that that the virus doesn't take hold in the body. That's why outdoors was considered to be more safer and lower the probability of contracting the virus. Even though the outdoors is there's a lower likelihood of contracting the virus, that does not mean that it is without its own challenges. Globally, the quality of our air outdoors is declining due to pollution, forest fires, human deforestation, global warming, destruction of our oceans, and the list goes on, right? So given all of this, our outdoor air is often much worse. Sorry, our indoor air is often much worse than the outdoor air, right? So even with all of that pollution, all of the smog, outdoor air is still cleaner than the indoor air. In fact, indoor air is up to 5 times worse than it is outdoors. So now to the indoor air section. Now, we spend up to 90% of our time indoors, right? By the time we hit 40, most of us have spent 36 years indoors. Now, indoor air quality refers to the air inside of buildings and homes and structures. It's a bigger factor than we realize in our health, our comfort, and our well-being. Now, for some of us, we can tell right away when the air indoors is not right. And some of us, it might take years and years and years before we develop some sort of symptoms and realize that the indoor air has not been good. Some of these short-term symptoms And some of these side effects may show up shortly after exposure, or some of it might show up way down the line. So short-term symptoms include irritation of your eyes, your nose, your throat, headaches, dizziness, fatigue. In the long term, some of these symptoms could be respiratory diseases, heart disease, cancer, and it could be severely debilitating or fatal. Now, poor indoor air quality is the bane of our existence. We're combating it by raising awareness and developing an understanding of what is in our indoor air while making a conscious effort to improve it. This is why CleanAir.ai exists, to understand and improve our air in indoor environments. Okay, so buildings and homes around the world are struggling with poor indoor air quality. And the worst part is the occupants don't even know it. The majority of our buildings and homes, especially in densely populated areas, have aged HVAC systems that are consistently taking bad air in from the outdoors, recirculating it with particulate matter, bacteria, mold, VOCs, viruses. And then this is what we breathe in all day, every day. So the first line of defense for a building's HVAC system is this here, right? So this is the system responsible for bringing in fresh air, cleaning it, circulating it through the space while maintaining the temperature and humidity. That's the HVAC system. Now, these HVAC systems have filters in it, and that's what you see on screen here. It's a MERV rated filter. Now, when it comes to air quality specifically, our current line of defense is these traditional HVAC filters on screen. These filters are hidden out of sight behind the walls of buildings and in buildings, and also in your furnace systems in homes. And these are abundant. A single building could have 200 to 1,000 of these filters in them, right? And these filters, they're very traditional. They're mechanical, they're pleated, and they haven't been innovated in over 50 years. Now, these filters are not rated to filter particulate that is smaller than 0.3 microns. They only filter 0.3 microns and larger. Now, ironically, 99% of all the particulate in the air is smaller than 0.3 microns. And unfortunately, right, they're also the particulate that do the most harm for us. So it's the microparticulate that make it past our bodily defenses and embed themselves deep into our lungs. These MERV filters that are deployed everywhere, they're not rated for 0.3 microns and under. The sole purpose of these filters was to protect the equipment, right? They protect the HVAC equipment from gathering dust and ensure that the equipment is free of this dust so it can operate smoothly. The health components of it, the human components of it, this was an afterthought, right? So at CleanAir, we believe that a new standard needs to be set specifically with these filters. So this new standard needs to see a people and wellness first approach in buildings and homes, and we're not the only ones seeing this, right? The industry is literally changing around us. Building developers and owners and homeowners are under pressure to, address this paradox of maintaining indoor air quality to a new higher standard, while lowering energy consumption to meet these ambitious emissions targets. Now, the bottom line is that buildings and homes need a simple solution that effectively remove this harmful microparticulate, the VOCs, the odors, without increasing the energy consumption. So our solution to this problem is our clean air safety system. Our clean air safety system delivers the best in class air quality performance to buildings without the pressure drop, while allowing building owners to remotely monitor filter performance through their building automation system. So this is the solution here. The clean air safety system is a proven filter technology. It's been tested and evaluated by the government and industry-leading labs to capture and kill live pathogens like viruses, bacteria, and mold. We use an active polarization technology and energy efficient filter material, so we have a lower pressure drop. Our filter system is smart. So as the filter gets soiled, the sensors inside of it monitor continuously, and we're able to send alerts through the building automation system or the homeowner's mobile app, or an online dashboard, right? So maintenance teams or homeowners can visualize the performance of the filter, and they can even pick up on air quality events that happen in the home. You'd be surprised what registers in an HVAC filter. We've had users buy a low quality candle, light it, and you can see it in the HVAC filter. We've had users burn a pizza while they were cooking. You can see it in the HVAC filter. So we can detect events that happen in the space through the filter, and we can monitor the filter's performance over time. So the Cleanair safety system removes particulate as small as 0.007 microns, right? So 40 times smaller than what the traditional MERV filters are rated for. The polarized field in the Cleanair safety system deactivates bacteria once it's been captured, right? So protecting the service representative. So it could be a homeowner going to change a filter, or it could be a property manager that's going to change the filters as well. The bacteria, the viruses that are on that filter are dead, right? Now our pressure drop is significantly lower than traditional filters and HEPA systems. And the Cleanair safety system, again, it's smart. It provides automation for the air in your home or your building. So we detect when your filter needs to be changed, and we automatically ship you new filter media when the time is right. And last but not least, our filters last significantly longer. So when our filter loads, current HVAC filters, they face load. Our filters, the particulate embed themselves throughout the entire depth of the filter, which give us about 50% life extra than the MERV filters. Okay, so why do buildings and homeowners choose the Cleanair safety system? Well, it's a turnkey installation, right? There isn't these expensive retrofits. You literally swap out your MERV rated filter and you slide in our filters, and then our filters are powered, right? So it's plug and play. It takes power right off of the HVAC system that's already there. Our filters, again, they're energy efficient. We don't increase the household costs or the building costs. We provide end-to-end filter automation, so there's no guesswork for a homeowner or building owner when you need to change your filter. We're also an official vendor of Carrier Global, right? We support LEED buildings, and our filters are CSA and UL approved. So we solve the air quality challenges and provide end-to-end filter automation for your buildings. Our filter system, again, is turnkey. Now, when it comes to return on investment, right? So living and working the majority of your life indoors, where air quality is subpar, is literally like death by 1,000 cuts, right? Now, that may sound a little extreme, but what's also extreme is that 4% of the global population ends up dying from poor indoor air quality, right? Now, that's out of 100 people that we know, 4 of us are going to pass away from poor indoor air, right? Now, 4% of us are dying from it. How many of us are negatively affected by it? At some point, 100% of us will have been negatively affected by poor indoor air, right? Perhaps that's headaches, tiredness, a chronic tickle in your nose or your throat, right? And so many of us have just accepted these symptoms as normal and continue to go about our daily lives with it. Now, the benefits of providing clean air to your employees or your families is well documented. And not just by us, but this is independently studied by doctors, white papers all around the world, right? There is a real return on investment that the Clean Air safety system can provide by taking a holistic view to each of these benefits. So whether you're in your office or working from home, Clean Air can improve your productivity anywhere between 6 to 11%. Right, so installing the Clean Air safety system gives you a better chance of having more energy, feeling less tired, and feeling more focused. It's estimated that 1/3 of sick days can be reduced by introducing clean air to your work environment or your home. In the past, we've seen these illnesses taken due to sick building syndrome, for example. Given the rapid spread of COVID-19, now we actually expect these numbers to be a lot higher, right? So COVID is spreading as people are going back into work. COVID is spreading amongst those workplaces, and people are calling in sick. And we think we can actually reduce the employee sick time by up to 30%. Now, clean air is a real concern for employees, many of which do not want to go back to the office without additional indoor air quality measures in place. Studies have shown that implementing a clean air safety system in your office can improve employee retention anywhere between 10 and 60%. So in addition to retaining employees, clean air can help you attract new employees as well. So if your employees are working from home, this can be a low-cost employee perk that an employer provides to an employee for their home to boost productivity at home. And this could be a part of an employee health and wellness program. If employees are back in the office, employees can now start to feel safer about and work more productively while there. It's estimated that a clean air program at your office can add a marketing advantage of anywhere between $10,000 and $100,000 per year, depending on the size of your organization. The clean air safety system reduces energy up to 8%, depending on the home or the building, and it reduces the number of times you need to change your filter. And it also reduces the administration time by automating the air in your home. Okay. So we've had some pretty substantial deployments and some major successes, one of which is with the Canadian government, who's tested the clean air safety system and has started to expand its deployment throughout its portfolio of assets. Now, the goal here of the Canadian government is to bring employees back to work safely. We've had some also major successes with new home developers that are building either condos or detached or townhomes. Some of these developers have started to integrate clean air safety systems right from the start in the development. And the thought process here is new homes and new developments, they do a lot of off-gassing with VOCs. So having a clean air safety system removes a lot of those VOCs for when the homeowners or the tenants move in. We've done some pretty substantial multifamily deployments across the US, right? So multifamily developers across the United States have begun to deploy these systems in their multifamily assets and low-income housing, as they recognize that clean air is a fundamental building block, helping people build their assets and families. And that brings us to the end, right? So whether you're indoors or outdoors, clean air is becoming harder and harder to find. The impact of clean indoor air is real and it's tangible, right? It has a significant impact on each of us here. My ask today is just for us to be more aware of our air. And when you do catch that odd good breath, let's be thankful for it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Devin. I have some questions for you, if that's okay.
Of course, yeah.
So you are now doing this mainly in Canada, I guess?
Yeah.
This is like a global issue.
Precisely.
How do you see yourself scale into a global real estate?
Our primary markets right now are North America, so mainly the U.S. We sell a lot into the U.S. And we do have business in Canada as well. Now, overseas, across the world, these centralized HVAC systems are becoming more and more prominent, right? So the older systems, the radiation systems, and whatnot, those are being replaced with these central heating and cooling systems. I see us riding on the back of that, right? So as these systems are getting deployed, we would look to be integrated directly into them, yes. Or be sold in the aftermarket. So one of our strategic partners is Carrier Global. Right now, we're working very closely with Carrier North America. We've had some success there, and what we're looking to do is leverage their global network to tap into that market. Nice,
yeah, because everybody deserves clean air, of course.
Absolutely. Right, and also we're looking for forward-thinking developers, right, like Amar, right, to partner up with and to deploy this technology. So
yeah, how did COVID, when did you start? Did you start before COVID or after the pandemic?
Yeah, we've been at this well before COVID. So we started the company in 2017. The pandemic acted as an accelerant for us, right? So it really put a spotlight on clean air.
Yes, everybody is talking about it right now.
Yeah, and we don't see that going away necessarily. I think people are, it's ingrained in our heads now that clean air, being in these tight environments with a lot of people, there's a little bit of worry for everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation. Wish you a good day there in Canada.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
I hope to speak to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.